Hi, I'm Sky, and today we will be talking about how to level up your finances. This is going to include changing your behavior, changing your habits, and changing your beliefs. But in order to do those, we must first understand, what do those mean? What is a financial behavior? A financial behavior is something that can impact your finances. So, on the negative aspect of this, using your credit card for a large unexpected expense without thinking about the long term effects, such as high interest rates related to that credit card. So, this decision may not be something you do repeatedly, but a decision that is made at the time based on the events. A habit is going to be something you do repeatedly that becomes subconscious or unconscious that begins to affect you financially. So, an example of a bad financial habit is not spending wisely. This can include maxing out your credit card on non essential items or making your credit card usage a routine everyday occurrence. Also, think about when we're carrying balances on our credit cards and not actually paying those down. So, how are some of the ways we can avoid doing this? One, avoid spending or shopping on your credit card, or only making purchases on your credit card for items that you know you have the money to pay for, or you're able to pay them off in a very short period of time. So, a solution to this is going to be avoid shopping on your credit cards, actually use cash. Because there is definitely something different emotionally from swiping a card and physically having that money in your hand and watching it leave your hand. The other thing would be resist sales, especially window shopping, because window shopping tends to lead you into going to the store and actually purchasing items. Now, if you get into the store, the next thing you want to do is take pause. Or if you're shopping online, take pause. What that would mean is, instead of purchasing the item right then, give yourself time. So if you're online shopping, favorite the item or maybe leave it in your cart but don't actually purchase it. Or if you're physically in a store, say, I'm going to come back in a day or so. And if I'm still thinking about the item and it's not going to interfere with my budget, then purchase it. This is something I have done over the years and it definitely has helped out. There are still items I think about to this day that I said I would go back, but for whatever reason, I never went back. Therefore, it's probably something I didn't need. It was really something I wanted. So, this would be a way to limit spending your money on non essential items. Now, there's nothing wrong with spending money on non essential items, but you have to find a balance. If you are going to indulge, make sure you are indulging after your mandatory expenses have been taken care of. These would include your day to day cost of living, your emergency fund for sure, and things like investing. Now, another financial habit to avoid is not having an emergency fund or dipping into your emergency fund for non emergency events. So, what exactly should an emergency fund be for? An emergency fund should be for large, unexpected purchases that can affect your budget, thereby having the money set aside is going to cause minimal stress to you. So, this would be such as you fell and broke a bone or a broken bone, if you're in a car accident, or you have a significant repair that you would, under normal circumstances, would not have the money available for. But what also tends to happen is, you may have an emergency fund, but that money is burning a hole in your pocket and now you're dipping into your emergency fund. So, some solutions to avoiding this is create a separate account for your emergency fund. This goes back to automation and making sure that that money is separated out from your main or primary checking account. So, linking a separate savings account specifically for your emergency fund. Now, a lot of times an emergency fund is not set up because you may think you don't have enough money to put aside for an emergency, but every little bit counts. Even if you're only able to contribute to this occasionally, it should be something that you are planning for, because one day an emergency will occur. And if you already feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck, then any variance from your day to day expenses can cause significant financial stress. So, even if it's a few dollars every pay period that you're allowing to go into this separate account, an account that you do not plan to touch, an account that you've already designated what an emergency is and what you would use that account for, better allows you to have clarity on what that account is established for, and therefore it fights the urge of dipping into that account when there are things that are really wants that are not part of your essential day-to-day living. And another bad financial habit, which I've spoken about before, is not having a budget. What a budget establishes is how much is coming in and how much is going out. If you do not have a clear understanding of where your money is going, then you may end up overusing or incorrectly using the funds that you have while neglecting things that are essential. So, an easy solution to this is create a budget. You can use an app, you can use a spreadsheet, you can use pen to paper. You need to have a visual understanding of where your money is going and how it's being utilized. For me, I am good old pen and paper because there's something about writing those numbers, that message going from your brain to your hand and back to your brain, that allows me to get a better understanding of where I am wasting money or where I can be better utilizing my money. So it is very important. It's very simple. And in most cases, it is free, meaning you can find an app, you can write pen to paper, you can collect all your bills, all of your expenses, your pay stubs, and you can create a budget to see how much money you actually have that can be used for your indulgences. So, one of the other things we need to work on in leveling up on our financial journey is understanding and changing our beliefs and views about money. Our views and beliefs are something that is accepted or considered a norm, and we use it in our everyday activities. So, these are usually established either in childhood or adolescence. Sometimes they are directly learned through just education. So, think Johnny has 5 apples if he XYZ. The others can be just observation, observing the things that are happening around you, either in your household or out in the community, as well as personal experience. So, some examples of these are going to be money is going to make everything better. Money is bad. Money is the root of all evil. Money is not important. I don't deserve to have money. I deserve to have money. I don't talk about money because of how it makes me feel, or the universe will provide. These are all financial beliefs and views that we hold, and we may not be aware of them, but they do affect how we interact with our money. So, a solution to this is understanding what are your beliefs or views on money, and how is it affecting both positively and negatively your day to day interaction with your money. When you have a better understanding of this, especially the negatives, you can then use your beliefs to then change your behavior and change your habits. So, example, for myself, growing up, one thing I was clear about was we did not have enough money. And I allowed that to help me in creating the journey that I am on now, because I knew we did not have a lot of money. Whenever I did get money, it was not something that I allowed to just run through my fingers. I held on to my money until there were things that I know I needed as opposed to things that I wanted. This then led me on to being a saver and making sure that my money was going to last for a long time, or if an emergency occurred, I had the money to address those issues without having to take on a lot of debt. This also led me to not allowing balances to run on my credit cards and essentially using my credit cards only for essential items. Yes, I did indulge, but I also made sure that when I indulged, it was either something that I knew I had the money for, or I knew I could pay off in a short period of time. When you level up your finances and you have certain things in place, it does bring a peace of mind that if something does happen, that you're able to tolerate the stress related to it, and your finances will not significantly be uh, taken off track. So these are just some tips to leveling up your finances. And first, you need to understand what is affecting your ability to be successful in your savings goal or just living comfortably. So remember, you have to understand what your behaviors are, what your habits are, and your beliefs, and then that way you can work on changing them. So thank you for staying with me during this discussion. Remember to like and subscribe, Sky. And remember, this is Sky's Bucket List Life. So these are things I am doing to help myself on the way to early retirement, as well as I am featuring some of my trips that are on my bucket list that I'm working on getting through those now. So I'm able to enjoy my retirement even more. Thanks for watching. Bye.